Disturbing evidence in a trial in the death of a UT student on campus. From surveillance video to a strand of hair, the evidence that prosecutors are showing. And the Texas heat is not letting up, but perfect timing. It's National Ice Cream Day, and we've got some deals for you and the family. A very high-profile case continues in Travis County courtroom tomorrow. 20-year-old Mikael Kreiner is accused of strangling and killing Haruka Weiser as she walked back to her dorm in April of 2016. Her body was found along Waller Creek on UT's campus. We've been tracking the trial the entire week, and our cameras have been allowed in the courtroom, but just to shoot video, we cannot get any audio. But here's some of the most chilling evidence that we've seen. First, this video where you can see someone on a bike and then in the background another person walking. Then the person on the bike starts to follow. This is right in the area where Weiser's body was found. Also brought into the courtroom, this bike, which prosecutors argue is the same one you just saw in that video. Prosecutors also showed the jury some evidence found after a fire at the vacant building near UT where Kreiner had been staying. A strand of Weiser's hair was found on a shirt that prosecutors believe belonged to Kreiner. Our Alyssa Gord will be back in the courtroom tomorrow, live tweeting all the updates, and you can follow along by following us on Twitter at KXAN_news. A 19-year-old West Texas woman charged with capital murder in the death of her 3-month-old daughter. Ector County Sheriff's Office say Clarissa Ramirez has taken responsibility for the death. Police went to the Odessa hospital in April after the baby was brought in unresponsive. The baby had a skull fracture and broken ribs consistent with abuse. Deputies say Ramirez admitted to squeezing the child's torso and hitting her in the head with a dresser drawer. In Midland County, progress is being made on a 2015 cold case. The sheriff's office identified skeletal remains found back in February.
We now have positive identification through DNA testing that these two kids are the ones that we were absolutely looking for and that we discovered their bodies.
The Midland County Sheriff says John Iglesia Alvarez and Ashley Cruz Rodriguez both died from a single bullet to the back of the head. They believe both victims knew the suspect. Painter says the sheriff's office has notified both victims' families. And it's been a violent weekend involving police officers and people across the country. First, in Massachusetts, a police officer and an innocent bystander were killed when a suspect took the officer's gun. Officer Michael Chestnut confronted the suspect for vandalism and erratic driving. Police say 20-year-old Emmanuel Lopez then attacked the officer with a large stone during the arrest. When Chestnut fell to the ground, Lopez grabbed his gun and fired multiple times. Responding officers shot Lopez in the leg and chased him through a neighborhood. Police say during the chase, Lopez fired the gun again, killing an elderly woman in her home. Kansas City also saw violence when police killed a suspect accused of shooting 3 officers. Police say the suspect shot 2 undercover officers who were working at a motel. He then took off and barricaded himself inside a home. During a shootout with police, he hit another officer in the arm. All 3 officers are expected to be okay. The suspect was previously under surveillance for the murder of a student at the University of Kansas Medical Center. And clashes between officers and protesters in Chicago continue. Tensions have been high since officers shot and killed a man yesterday afternoon. Reports say police on foot patrol approached a man they believed was armed. They say after a scuffle, the victim, who had a weapon on him, appeared to reach for it, and officers fired. That's when protests broke out.
The crowds afterwards were very, they were combative somewhat to the police, also throwing things. I know that they're very passionate about things that happen in the community, especially when it's dealing with the police. But it got a little bit out of hand. Several arrests were made.
4 people were arrested and an internal investigation is underway. President Trump is now in Finland 1 day ahead of his closely watched summit meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. There are no planned appearances for the president or First Lady until tomorrow. First thing tomorrow, he will have breakfast with Finland's president. Presidents Trump and Putin will meet later in the day at the palace. Their agenda isn't clear, other than President Trump saying it's crucial to improve relations between Moscow and Washington. With the deadline quickly approaching, volunteers are preparing for immigrant families to be reunited.
It's touching. It's a bittersweet moment.
Catholic Charities in San Antonio learned they will help with 400 more reunions in the coming weeks. Now they're going through training to prepare, and organizers say the reunions are amazing to see.
Once that they connected within minutes, I mean, you couldn't get them apart. And it was the same thing. Every single family that we saw this week, they were just with each other, you know, grabbing each other like they're never going to be separated again.
Volunteers will help clothe, feed, and get families into a hotel before going to their next destination. The deadline for reunification is July 26th. And speaking of preparation, shoppers are preparing for one of the biggest online shopping events, Amazon Prime Day. It officially kicks off tomorrow, but some deals are already popping up online, like $100 off Amazon's Alexa Echo. Deals will launch as often as every 5 minutes for 36 hours, and you can get a preview of what's coming and set your alerts so you don't miss out. But if online shopping isn't your thing, they are taking the deals to the stores this year. If you spend more than $10 at a Whole Foods, you can get a $10 Amazon credit. And as the temperatures soar, today could be the perfect one to pull off with this sweet treat. We will tell you why. Plus, ouch, that's gotta hurt. What is behind one fan getting leveled at a baseball game?